It is August the 20th, 2026. I will try to keep my cool, but it's difficult right now. I've had several attempts at recording a video. I have a lot of rage right now. Um, yeah, it's not enough that these supporters of compulsory childhood education, they want to enslave these kids all day, indoctrinating them with these indisputable facts which don't do them a damn bit of good in their lives. So they can all graduate and compete for minimum wage fucking jobs, man. You know, that's not enough. Then they got to give them homework. You know, both my kids last night, hours trying to get this homework done. They didn't get it done. Had to drop my daughter off this morning. She's in tears, saying she's a failure because she didn't get it done, you know. She was all day at school and she worked for hours in the evening trying to get this done. Couldn't get it done, you know. So they're just making her life completely miserable for no good effect, for no good reason. And the worst part is they're wasting. Yeah, this is a tax and debasement funded school. If you don't know what that means, governments have spent a lot more than they've taken in tax revenue. And there aren't enough stupid people willing to buy those bonds. So the Federal Reserve has had to create the money out of nothing. That when I say debasement, that's what I mean. That's how they funded all this stuff governments have paid for. And governments have paid for schools. Now, yeah, it's a different government than the Fed directly buys the bonds of, but it's all creating liquidity. It's all creating credit that wouldn't otherwise exist. That, thank God, is going to collapse so these people can be disempowered from torturing these children the way they like to do, as they pretend that they're the virtuous ones, as they cower in corners, never confronting me on this or any other fucking issue. You know, I hold them in contempt because they're contemptible. Yeah, it's sad, man. It's sad that it's so much of this society. But bond market's going to collapse anyway. Yeah, the currency's going to collapse anyway. They've already had to intervene to try to protect the yen, but the yen is still collapsing because rate differentials matter. And that's the cheapest currency to borrow in. So that's not going to change unless Japanese rates go way up. And they can't do that because the Japanese government can't afford that because they have 200% debt to GDP on the books, 350% if you include unfunded liabilities, which is still less than the US has. So what are they going to do? Try to save their currency? Sell off their US bonds, which are already under pressure, which have also just had a supposed bailout by the Treasury, except they're just issuing more short-term paper that, of course, the Fed will just buy. So it's just backdoor monetization. That's all it ever is. But that ends with a collapsed currency and a collapsed bond market. And at this point, even if they wanted to save them, they couldn't. There's just no way that these debts can be cleared. So we've warned for decades. People have ignored us. And when I say we, I mean libertarians. You know, and I've been part of that myself since, 2011, whenever. So, we've prepared. We'll do what we can to try to preserve civilization. Will these desperate people come around when they go to the grocery store and it's shut and all the other stores are shut? Or suddenly the price of a hamburger is $1,000? Or suddenly their bank just closes, funds gone. Suddenly they have no way to eat. Food banks are empty. Government can't do anything because their credit's collapsed. Like I said before, most of these people will probably go to camps, and that'll probably be the last you hear from them. Because they'll be desperate, and they'll be told, and they've been taught to be obedient above all else. So that's what public schools teach. That's what people like, because they're control freaks, and they want to feel like they're in control. Reality is, they're going to lose complete control, and they're going to wish they'd listened to me.